Hello, all my fairy-loving friends. I'm glad that you could join me. I'm just creating a quick little sketch that I'm going to use in my fairy book nook today. I based the design around this little door that I bought online, so that it would work within the theme. I repainted it and gave it some extra detail. Let's grab some supplies and get started. Using some bookboard to make the frame, and covering it with a bit of scrapbooking paper. But I'll also need a little bit of PVA glue and some craft paint. Let's start by preparing the front stoop. I like to save my scraps of bookboard so that I can use them in small projects like this. I wanted the front stoop to be rather thick, so I decided to glue 6 boards together. This is a rather easy step. It's just gluing pieces of bookboard together to build up the layers. To make sure that the pieces bond together properly, I'm going to put them into a makeshift press. I've always wanted a real book press. I love those antique metal versions, but they're rather hard to find, and when I do, they can be quite costly. So, I'm making do with my wooden flower press, but you can easily use a stack of books instead. But I think this is kind of fun to work with, don't you think? I just need to cut out a basic house shape. This will be the surround for the door. And I'll need an opening for the door to fit into. The opening was a little too small, so I'm using a nail file to make it slightly wider. This will also help to smooth out any of the rough edges. Let's just test the door to make sure it fits properly. The door surround will be covered in scrapbook paper. A fun polka dot for the top half, and a stripe for the bottom. Let's glue down the first layer using a good coverage of PVA glue. I don't need to cover the opening, so I'll just remove the small bit in the middle. Scrapbook paper is rather thick, and it can be kind of difficult to miter. So for this project, I decided to use a bookbinder's corner. Pre-folding the edges will make it easier for me to turn, and to glue into place. I always use a scrap piece of copy paper when I'm gluing. This helps to keep my surface clean and allows me to push the glue to the very edges of the paper. To make a tight mitered corner, I fold over one edge first, and there is this little piece of paper that hangs over the edge. With my bone folder, I push this down flat and firmly into place. I use this technique on all of my corners. Now I can glue down the edges. Having a bone folder is very helpful, I find, and honestly, it's one of my best tools. I use it just about in everything I make. Now that the bottom half is completed, I will just repeat the process on the top. The back side of the door frame can be covered in a scrap piece of paper or poster board. I chose to cover mine in brown wrapping paper. When the book Nook sits on the shelf, it's never going to be seen, so I decided to save my good paper for another project. So the frame will dry flat. I'll just pop it into the press and let it dry thoroughly. And in the meantime, I will make the overhang. These are just some brown pieces of pre-cut craft board I found in the shop. I think they will make for really cute gingerbread details. For the overhang, I will glue together two pieces of board in an L shape. I'll use my brace. This will help me to create a sharp 90-degree corner. This little piece, I think it's meant to be some kind of book corner, but I thought it would be a really nice detail in the center of the overhang. I love the look of this filigree design. I bought it as a bookmark, but I think it will make a nice pediment. So I'm just going to cut out the same shape as the roof line and attach it. Since there's never a fairy around to help me when I need one, I will use some weights to hold these pieces together while they dry. To complete the fairy tale look, I'm just adding a last bit of trim to the overhang. I'll let this dry for a while and then I can paint it. I'll give the overhang a thin coat of titanium white. This will help to seal the layers and to lock the gingerbread details into place. Since I'm working with paper pieces, I don't want to saturate it with paint too much, causing it to warp. So I will build up the layers slowly and allow them to dry in between. That can just sit here to dry thoroughly, and now I can put together the stoop. To cover the stoop, I'm using some wood-printed scrapbook paper. So I'll put on a good layer of glue around the edges and then wrap the paper around it. Since the back will not be seen, I only need to cover 3 sides. This paper is quite thick too. I will need to miter the corners. Using a small blade, I follow down the paper to the corner and make a cut. I find it helpful to crease the paper first. To make the miter, I fold the edges together and from corner to corner cut through the layers. And glue down all the edges. And for the top, I'll just cover it with a piece of paper. I've already covered an extra piece. This will be my porch. Now I will glue the stoop on top of the porch. And this will all just go into the press until it's dried. Now I can put the pieces together. Using a fair amount of glue here, I will attach the door surround to the overhang. Earlier, I painted some extra brackets. I felt they would be a cute little addition to the overhang. I decided that the overhang needed just a little more character. So I cut out an extra piece of paper to mount in the center. Finally, I can glue the two main pieces together. This will need to dry thoroughly before I can install the door, so I'll just leave it here for a bit and grab a cup of tea. It's been a real pleasure to make this whimsical book nook for you today. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And until we meet again, have a magical time crafting.
Yes, please. Hello, squirrel friend. Ooh, pretty. Alberto Doras. My pretty little house. I wonder what's for dinner.